Hello folks, welcome to HFC's Clarity Lab podcast where we discuss about human development. So today I have come up with a very interesting concept and a very important one too, because people who all strive to become the best version of themselves would have crossed this point and would have made a conscious choice which would have taken them further. Okay, and a person could be a drifter. He could just the person could just be a drifter in his own life, be an NPC in his own life, and sometime when the person comes across this point and realizes this, that could be a turning point for the person. I truly will tell you that sometimes when we tend to improve ourselves, we would try to do some complex things, make things complicated, do modern variables. But I'll tell you one thing, buddy. If we want to improve, the tools are always the basics. The path for improvement will be always simple, but the point is whether we are doing that consistently or not. That's what matters. And that comes back to the topic of we are what we do. We are not what we think we are going to do. Okay, so most of the time in the world, we would have seen that people know the proper way of living, the better way of living, which according to me, I would say to work on themselves, improve, become the better version of themselves than the previous day, so that they can give back to the community, help the family, help the society, and get some new perspective, improvise their consciousness to see the world in a different perspective, and many things are there. So but what people are doing, they are just indulging themselves with instant gratification, and they are just getting themselves distracted or diverted away from all those things that would give them long-term values, and this comes to most of the time people, they just talk a lot, like I'm going to do that, this, blah blah blah, and they will list many things. And when it comes to and they will say, like, from the next week or from the next day I'm going to implement all those things. But when the time comes, they just go like, oh man, come on, let us postpone this, or else I think I'm taking things too seriously. And those all things compound, and that is also an identity, because it's all about what kind of person we are becoming. Every day we evolve. You believe me or not, we are evolving. One day we are not the same. They say the man won't be same like every time he crosses a river. So a person evolves. So a person today won't be the same tomorrow. The people who do remain the same will get left back. So the point is about evolving, improving. So it all again comes back to the identity. Whatever decisions we make, whatever we do, that again creates an identity that, when accumulated or compounded, will act as a fuel for the metamorphosis which is happening from caterpillar to becoming a butterfly. So the same thing goes for the person who takes degenerative decisions or destructive decisions. They also create an identity which again compounds, and again that creates an identity which may give them instant satisfaction or happiness, but again in the longer go, it won't be more helpful or rewarding, I would say. And I would again mention a point which I have written here also. When the situations are smooth, or when things are so easy, we may think that if everything is aligned according to a specific criteria, or everything is perfectly fit, we can do it, and we say like, okay, that's the ideal way to thrive. But I will say one thing, my friend. They say one thing, right? The hardest sea makes the strongest soldiers. That's absolutely true, because we may think that we may execute or become better when the situations are neutral, when everything looks okay. But I'll tell you one thing, we can't do that. A person who constantly thinks that he can perform well will never do that, man. He can't. The comfort breeds weakness, and whenever the ideal condition, prevails or is been created, a person can't thrive there, because stress, a constructive stress is needed for us to evolve. Or else when everything is neutral, everything is predictable, our bodily conditions become so comfort, and our all the senses or the mindset and everything will get degraded. And comparing to the other side, when the situations are so tough, when things are out of control, when, say example, tomorrow morning a person is maintaining a 2-day streak of reading, meditation and everything, on the third day there is an obstacle which demands the person to break the streak. At that time, at that choice, at the instance he have a choice to make. So one choice, he may say like, okay, let me take it easy, I just started now, let me do that again in the upcoming week. Or he can go like, okay, I have started the journey, I ain't gonna stop until the job is done. And the person who persists and makes the shit work together when things are so crappy around him, when things are terrible around him, trust me, that's where evolution begins. We may think that at the moment, oh man, come on, why it is so hard and I'm not performing well. But trust me, buddy, you are doing a wonderful job, because say you have planned to do a 10-minute meditation, but because of some shitty condition around you could do only 3 minutes. That's amazing, because you didn't break the streak. And during those situations where you could have said like thrown the towel up, you did it. That's what matters. Most of the times when people think that they, in order to being consistent, they have to do the maximum at every point. But I'll say one thing: do the bare minimum. Doing the bare minimum is what needed, to outperform most of the people, or else to have an edge over millions and millions of people. To just show up and to do the bare minimum is mostly needed. That's where it's so I wouldn't say it is a very basic thing, but it is hard. The consistent part is hard. But again, the most important point is the choice, and again, it's not like, okay, I have made the choice today, I have improvised, I have learned the skill. No, it is a never-ending road. Tomorrow the obstacle will be difficult and different. It will be unique, but at the time also taking the hardest choice, because it will go directly against our the seven they say the 7 deadly sins, or the primal things that are needed for pleasure or everything. Say gluttony. A person is on a very a very healthy diet, okay, and at one point of time he gets an opportunity to have a dessert. A person with absolute self-control can have they may take a dessert and they can control it. But I would say, if it also goes back to smoking and like alcohol, one day it shows up, and again a person, say he maintains a 3-month streak, the probability of him eating the dessert will become will be increased, so and so, and it will increase, and at one point of time again there will be eating disorder. And it's not about, you should not it's not only about like dessert. It's dangerous for, like the sugar spike is very dangerous. At longer go, if a person consistently eats that sugar or any junk food, it will cause harm. But the important point here is about mastery. It's not about having a cheat meal at one day. It's about mastery. Yes, I really crave for this dessert, but do I have the self-control to actually avoid it? And it's like what I feel like doing, but what should I do at the moment? What is the right thing to do? That choice, that action and the decision is us. And the people who all materialistically doing well have their own methods, and I would personally recommend, it's my opinion, to have that mastery. It won't happen today, tomorrow, but throughout the years hardships will show up, things will become difficult, but at those times what we do, that defines our character, and that defines that those are the small things that compound and help us to metamorphosis to become the butterfly we all destined to be. So let us stop choosing the easy path, soft path, and let us actually face hard challenges and obstacles and hard decisions, and let us make the choices that will actually lead us to a constructive path. So stay strong, and fortis et liber, my friend.